Hi Charlie, how are you? We'll go and say hello. We'll come up and say hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Darling Street and Jim Pappas Field, where we interrupt our Youth Premier League matches today for the 2022 Australia Cup. This round 6 match between the home club Newcastle Olympic FC taking on Lake Macquarie City FC in this sudden death game. The teams for Lake Macquarie City FC: number 21, Isaac Nyman. 2 is Cooper.
Welcome to Darling Street Oval in Hamilton. Newcastle Olympic hosting Lake Macquarie City in round 6 of the Australia Cup on what is a super Saturday of cup clashes across the northern New South Wales region. 4 matches in total today to decide who goes through to round 7. Olympic, they've been here before and passed this test, reaching the nationwide round of 32 last season, while for Lakes, this round 6 appearance equals their best cup run last season. They made it to this stage, going down on penalties to Coff City. And while Olympic will come into this clash as hot favourites, you don't have to look too far if you're hoping for an Australia Cup upset. Lakes came here to Darling Street back in April during the NPL and snatched a 1-0 victory. That's all they need today, and they are just one step away from a potential round of 32 berth and a match-up with A-League opposition. So the lineups for Olympic, just the one change from the team who drew with Magic last week in the NPL. Unfortunately, goal scorer Ken Harrison has succumbed to injury. He was forced off after scoring in that match. Declan Hughes comes in to replace him. Reece Cooper, the captain, and Jared Muller up front. He scored 10 goals this season, including 5 in the Cup. And for Keelan Hamilton, he has a threadbare squad. Daniel Miners, Blair Ryan, Brandon Cashmore, they're all away. Carter Smith is injured. Ryan Woods is sick. So it is going to be a tough ask for Lake Macquarie. The referee is Andrew Higgins. And it will be Lake Macquarie who will kick us off as they chase a spot in round 7 of the Australia Cup for the first time. But Chris Turner, it will not be easy today for City against an Olympic side who have been here and done the job on this stage.
No, it's certainly not, and welcome back, Bart. It's great to have you with us here. Going to be a tough task, as you mentioned. They are threadbare, and this Olympic side have been on a bit of a roll, blow with Kent Harrison out. However, this Lake Macquarie side testing depth.
Oh, there's Jared Muller with an early strike on goal, just getting himself warmed up. And you can see in goals for Lake Macquarie, Isaac Nyman. He's got the cap on. Just stepping on the ball is Jai Rodway, who's come in at right fullback. He's done a good job in recent weeks. Tom Davies has been overseas, so Tom Davies on the bench. Might see him a little bit later. And there is Rodway. Back to Adam Pearce, who so important for Olympic in goals.
Yeah, I've got no doubt with City being as thin as they are, they're going to do it uphill. However, when you put a number of new guys into a side in a starting lineup, you watch them lift. It's their opportunity to play some first-grade football, their opportunity to make a difference, and there'll be a ton of adrenaline going through their bodies. And when you've got energy, wind, a slightly bumpy ground, which is a lot different to what we've seen last week, anything can happen.
Well, this is the benefit, isn't it, when you look at how Lake Macquarie have been going in recent weeks. Their last 4 they've lost by a combined margin. That's in the NPL of 20 goals to 2. But you can throw that all out the window when you come into a cup competition. Here's some space ahead of Jordan Harris. Important toe in from Rodway. And speaking of an inexperienced side, Jordan Harris out there in 19, just the one appearance in the NPL this season. Here he is just lobbing it up, and comfortable take for Adam Pearce.
Yeah, Pearce got sent off about a month ago up at Maitland, and he's been in outstanding form. What a good keeper he is, and he's been a big reason for Olympic in their movement forward, just I think in terms of their progression and being competitive towards the top 4.
Well, there's a bit of controversy when he came to Olympic last year, because you'll remember he didn't play in the NPL here in northern New South Wales last season, but he was brought in for that Australia Cup match. So the man who did the job up to that point, Dan Eisenhower, was forced to the bench, and he played really well that match, and of course is going to be so crucial for Olympic if they are to push into the finals this season. Here's a chance for Kamara, but snuffed out by Tom Kowalski. There's Rutledge. So Olympic 6th in the NPL at this point of the season. Basically at the halfway point for them. And for Lake Macquarie in 10th. It's been a pretty rough season for them after what was a good start. 2 wins in their first 5, including one against Olympic. Drew with Charlestown Azuri, who we know how strong they are this year, likes of Nigel Bogard, Melling, Jacob Melling, and Taylor Regan as well now. So they have shown their quality. It's just been the last few matches where the bottom has really dropped out for Lake Macquarie from a defensive perspective. Got a free kick here.
And just while we're on that, Majerovski starting in the Lake Macquarie lineup. He's showing over the past couple of weeks how thin they've been, because you'd like to bring him on with about 20 minutes to go, because that's where he's been doing his damage. And right now, he's in the starting lineup, so shows you where they're at, Olympic.
Here's Musa Kamara. He has Muller unmarked in the middle. He's going to roll it towards that back post where Reece Cooper was making the run, and Lake Macquarie having to clear away. You would say a better start for them than they produced midweek against Maitland. They were down 4-0 inside the first half of that one. It's always an uphill battle from there. Kane treble, low with the left. Kamara got a touch, not enough to bring it under control. And another opportunity for Olympic, this time from the corner. Plenty of targets for Reece Cooper to find in the box, including Jared Muller, 10 goals across all competitions this season. He's going to play it short to Kamara. And curling to that back post. An early test for Isaac Nyman. He passes that. Another corner on the way for Olympic.
And it looks a quick one.
So happy with the short corners. Langlois Majorowski got himself across well. Tapikura just losing his footing. And up the attacking end, it's been an issue for Lake Macquarie in recent weeks. They scored 7 goals in their first 5, and you wouldn't say that's setting the world on fire, but in the last 4 they've only scored 2 goals. So that just shows you how they haven't really been able to find a way through. And at the other end, they've been leaking goals. So it's been going wrong at both ends of the pitch for Keelan Hamilton's side as Treble shifting onto the left and the right and taking them on down to the byline. Nyman again. You sense he's going to get a lot of work today, CT, the Lake Macquarie keeper.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he will. And just going back to that point with Lake Macquarie and the number of goals that they've scored, it may well coincide with the illness and also the people they've had out during that period. So that may be a telling sign to the depth of the club. And bang on, Bart. This is a game that Lakes are going to see plenty of defensive work. As Pearce and Rutledge come together.
Well, you just can't look past. It might be the simple answer, CT, but you just can't look past John Majorowski in terms of where the threat comes from Lake Macquarie. 2 goals to get them through to this stage of the Australia Cup in that win over Adamstown in round 5. Reece Cooper springing in behind. Michael Brew got himself in a good position. And now Muller rewards the run of Rodway. And now Kamara onto the left, has time. And Reece Cooper, he should have buried it. And he will know with his quality, he should have nestled that in the back of the net, or at the very least, given Isaac Nyman some work to do.
That's one of those balls into Cooper where it comes in, it's a little bit bobbly, and you don't know exactly where it's going to pitch up. It looked like it hit him on the top of the ankle, but they're the ones you just want to get the instep, the side of the foot through the boot and just guide it in, but it just skipped on him a little bit, I feel there, Bart.
And unfortunately today we didn't get a pitch report from CT. He was a little bit worried about how cold it would be out on the pitch with the strong winds. Not too bad today, but we didn't get to see whether it is a little bit bobbly, the pitch, but we know it is, just from looking at it and the rain that has been around over the summer and into autumn and early winter.
What we did see a week ago was over here exactly where the ball is. It was very, very heavy. You could stick your thumb down into the pitch, no problem at all, whereas now it's dried up. You see Cooper with the long throw.
Kamara just chips it. Easy pickings for Nyman. We spoke about Lake Macquarie's issues at both ends of the pitch. For Olympic, they've been in wonderful goal-scoring form of late. 11 in their last 4. But they have been leaking a few of late as well. 8 goals conceded in their last 4 at an average of 2 per game. So an area they will want to tighten up. Intervention from Harris, and now Kowalski, and Pearce with a bit of a fumble. No one charging through from a City perspective. Just shows you that the pitch is a little bit uneven. It's going to make things difficult for both goalkeepers. And of the match so far, CT, you'd almost say the Lake Macquarie keepers look the more convincing, despite the massive gulf in experience between the two. As Muller hitting the away. Look at the speed and skill from Muller. He earns a free kick in very good position here for Newcastle Olympic.
Yeah, apart from the speed and the bump, the wind is going to play some part in this game. As we see Cooper, you just wonder whether this one's going to be driven towards goal or not.
Would you go with the left footer on the preferred side here
Yes.
for Muller? Well, he does go straight into the wall. Did its job. Just spills for the volley from Jack Reed-Jones. He was one of a number of these young Olympic boys who went to their pre-season training camp and cup competition on the Gold Coast and impressed. And good to see some of these young boys coming through at Olympic, because we know the depth of that youth system.
Yeah, Hamilton, formerly and now Newcastle Olympic, have always been a club that you want your juniors to play at, that seems to attract good numbers and good quality of players, and see Reed-Jones come through that system is good. I thought last week Barty was really good. He and Muller up front, I thought, were the two standouts for Olympic, as we see him on the ball again.
Scored a couple in their cup win against Cardiff, the 13-0 victory back in round 4. And an impressive 3-0 win against Azuri to get themselves here. Their 2 matches so far in this competition. Campbell Ross looking forward, seeing the run of Tom Kowalski, former Edgeworth player. Joined Lakes last season. They've got a few ex-Edgeworth boys out there. Lake Macquarie. And why not? Talk about Olympics youth system. Well, Edgeworth have had a very good catchment down the years. Kane Treble. And Kamara. Switching things up. Langwar across to Rodway. And he gets hit after the ball by Tapgura. Another whistle going the way of Newcastle Olympic. This time from a little bit further out. Same kind of angle. You may be able to see on the bench for Olympic today, Glenn Chapman with Joel Griffith suspended. Very experienced assistant and also former head coach at Adamstown and Broadmeadow Magic. Also done some interim coaching at Cooks Hill as well.
Yep, definitely a man with a lot of experience, and he knows what he's got to do here today. Cooper finds the defence.
I've hit the wall a couple of times, haven't they, Olympic, with those free kicks? And tell you what, there wasn't a blue shirt around. And Lake Macquarie have almost made a meal of that, as Ryan Berkeley and Isaac Nyman just getting their wires crossed a little bit there. You don't want your biggest danger as a goalkeeper to be your centre-back, CT. As Reese Cooper driving into the box. Now they have the opener. Well, they've been asking all the questions. Newcastle Olympic. And it is Jared Dodds who scores his first for Newcastle Olympic. And that's the way they wanted to start here at Darling Street, especially against a weaker opponent. You don't want to give them an opening early.
Cooper there showing his experience, and what a job he's done there. Just pick out his mark. It was a side foot pass. It's a coach pleaser, that one, because he knew exactly where it had to go. Found his teammate slot back straight in the back of the net.
And how happy will the centre-back be with that, CT? Former Hills United player in the NPL2 competition last season.
Well,
and
typically,
he looked pretty happy as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But he certainly, defenders going up in corners usually means they're taller and they're up there for the head. Not on this occasion. It was just a side foot tap in, and what a job.
Well, the task is going to get even more difficult now for Lake Macquarie. Remembering back in April when they beat Olympic, it was a 1-0 victory. Penalty in the 87th minute. Kamara And now Reed Jones. Cooper Verstegen picking it off and chipping forward to Kowalski, Gura. And now Michael Brew. He's had a difficult couple of weeks. And all our thoughts go to the Brew family after the passing of his dad, Elaine. And he's done a good piece of work there to ensure that it's a goal kick.
Yeah, just back on that point there, it is very sad news for the Brew family. And Michael Brew, as a player, has been at the club even back at the time that I was there, Bart, and been a true clubman. There's no doubt about that. And his dad, Elaine, very much a part of the club at Lake Macquarie City, and will be sorely missed, not just by his family, but the broader community. And it's terrible to see anyone from our footballing community be lost, and our thoughts are with the family and the club.
Tapgura put under some real pressure by Langlois, and then Reed Jones just having a bit of an air swing. Won't matter though.
No, not at all. And in fact, while we're sort of just here in the moment, we did welcome you back, Bart. Big time, Bart. I was thinking yesterday, not too hard, but the words blow in, Bart, came in for this year, because you've literally, this is game number 1. We're in the second round. Are we going to see you again for the rest of the season, blow in, or were you just, straight in one door, out the other after this afternoon?
I must say, that's actually quite a good joke for you. With the
no
wind,
joke.
With the wind, it's...
No, I didn't think that far into it, Bart.
Oh, well, that's what I would have been thinking about. No, well, hopefully we'll get a few more games. Round 7 of the Australia Cup, the next round. Now, the winner of Maitland and Western are going to take on the winner of Broadmeadow Magic and Coffs, so that one should be a cracker, and then the winner of this one up against the winner of Cooks Hill and also Coffs as well. So that one being played at the moment. Magic on a little bit later today. As Kane treble low to Kamara. Tried the back heel. Didn't quite come off. So we will try and bring you the scores from those other matches as this afternoon rolls on. So Coffs City United hosting Broadmeadow Magic, that one on at 5. And then Cooks Hill playing the Coffs Coast Tigers, that one on at Newcastle Athletics Field at the moment. And then Maitland and Western, the El Clasico in the Cup. That one, well, it would be a great game. Hopefully, though, they don't get blown away there at Cook Square Park. It would be quite windy. It would be a tough match to go as a member of the crowd. So good on all those hardy souls, CT, for heading up to Cook Square Park.
Yeah, and a lot of them too, apparently, and expecting a crowd of around about 1,000 at that game. So it would be a mass blowout up there, pardon the pun, that time on purpose, Bart. So we see the man Brew that we were talking about before and his family. Big games going on this afternoon. We'll keep you updated on the scores around the ground as they happen, I should say. Looking forward to these matches now, particularly the interesting end of the Australia Cup.
Well, unfortunately, this is the only one that's being live streamed today, so if you're not at the ground, you won't be able to watch those other ones. So this is the only one live streaming, and then hopefully round 7, those two will both be live streamed. Just waiting confirmation from the Federation on that one. CT, and his little 1-2 played around the corner, and Jared Dodds does the work at the other end of the ground. And defensively as well. His goal, the difference between these two sides at the moment.
What we've got to do here, Bart, or at least is thank Bar TV for putting this one on. Now, I'm happy to do this to thank on all of the footballing community here in Newcastle, because this is an extra game that wasn't on. So straight out of the goodness of their heart to put this on. So thank you to everyone involved at Bar TV for that. Won't go pulling names out, but you know who you are. Appreciate you getting this one on for the footballing community. Otherwise, Federation at this point, at this round, it's not a goer. See them start to kick in, or will kick in the next round of the Cup, but I'm sure that most of you will agree that there is a lot of interest at this point of the competition, Bart.
Yep, definitely. And Olympic have been here before, and Kamara trying to continue their run. There's a corner on the way for Reece Cooper.
Just to finish off that, we've got David on camera. So David and you and the guys back in the studio, thanks again. Love being able to bring this round of the Cup to you.
Kamara is finding himself there in a cul-de-sac. Majerowski picks the ball off him. The issue for Lakes, you can just see how deep John Majerowski is having to drop in this first half. I'd much prefer him higher up the pitch, and Lakes creating a lot more opportunities, but it's not going that way for them at the moment. Muller stands on the ball and pounced on by Verstegen, but he's able just to right the challenge. Couldn't get his pass past Campbell Ross. Cooper. Yeah, so Olympic making the round of 32 for the first time last season. So we'll just say Musa Kamara slow to his feet. Now, they don't need this Newcastle Olympic. 22-year-old who came up through the youth grades here at Newcastle Olympic and then headed away to Charlestown, also Western. And then he's come back to Olympic this season. He's had a good match so far, a lot of touches, causing some headaches for the Lakes defence, and they don't need him to be forced off with injury, especially at this point of the season. You'd almost call it a choke point of the season, because there's going to be so many matches coming for sides due to the wet weather.
Yeah, on the plus side for the City is that they've got a lot of players at the moment, but it means they've got a lot to come back. They'll be fresh and expected without injury once they're over their illness, because that's what's mostly running through the group. So that's good news for them, whereas you're talking about the load on the other clubs, that's for sure. So they're losing some points right now, City, but they are going to finish the back end stronger, as they did right at the start. But
so just reiterating that point about Olympic last season, making it through to the round of 32, went down 3-0 to MacArthur FC in that clash at number 2 Sports Ground. It was a tough day for them. They tried to defend their way to maybe extra time in a penalty shootout, but didn't go along the lines that they would have hoped for. And Lakes, well, last season they got to round 6 of the Cup, finally, first time, and then lost to Coffs in a penalty shootout. So frustrating for them. That, with as much due respect to the sides that play in the Coffs Premier League, Lakes would have expected, being an NPL club, to beat a club from Coffs Harbour, and they did well to win on penalties. And Lakes now back in round 6, looking to make it through to round 7 for the first time in their history, but this is a much tougher task.
sure is, and the game this afternoon for Coffs Harbour is a huge event in town at Coffs. So seeing this as one of the club's biggest games ever is what I was hearing from one of the guys up there, and it will be a big event. So enjoy the afternoon up there. If you're watching us now and you're looking forward to that game this afternoon, you need to be at the ground, but just enjoy that occasion because it's a big moment for the Coffs Harbour side.
So at the moment, Olympic doing it comfortably. The goal from Jared Dodds, his first for Newcastle Olympic. The difference between the two at the moment. And that will be the big question now that Lakes have to answer as they give away another free kick. How do they get themselves back into this one? How can they scrounge an equaliser? Because the chances have been few and far between.
Yeah, that's true. So if we're going to break the game down a little bit further, and what Lake Macquarie need to do is they need to try and shift this field position, because at the moment it's mostly played in the attacking end of Newcastle Olympic, and that's exactly where they want it. So if they can get down there more often, just increases the amount of chances that they get. Brew under some pressure.
Oh, he got there, but came off the legs of Declan Hughes. Almost provided an opportunity for Newcastle Olympic. Joey Langua getting the head up. Cooper angling over the top for Kamara. Picked off by Gura. Another former Edgeworth man out there in white today for Lake Macquarie City. Treble bearing down on goal. And I tell you what, that may not be coming back. That has gone a mile over the fence and down the road.
Tell you what, there's two things certain in life, Bart. Death and me not going to pick up that ball. That can stay exactly where it is and the kids will enjoy it.
Well, I was about to mention Kane Treble. He hasn't scored for Olympic since 2018. It was one of his first games, and it was an absolute ripper of a goal up there at Rockwell Automation Park against Western. And I'm pretty sure, wasn't Michael Bulch still coaching Olympic? That's how long ago it was. It seems like an age ago that Kane Treble last scored, and he thought that was his moment. His eyes lit up. Just shows you he's got plenty of power in that left boot. Maybe just needs to get the accuracy locked on. So Tap Guru with a chance. And that will dribble to Adam Pearce.
I've noticed in our separation period, Bart, and you probably haven't picked this up yourself, but you've got this little tap thing going on the elbow. People at home, you know that person that sits next to you and gives you that little tap. Bart's developed a tap, like he wants my attention, like I'm next to speak, as if he's got to wake me up and prompt me. It's good to have you back, Bart. Blow in Bart, big time Bart. Turned up the first time this season. Grateful to have him here, and looking forward to probably his next game, which is likely to be the grand final in the NPL first grade.
Well, just on that tap, for any Seinfeld fans, I don't know if you remember I don't know if you've ever watched Seinfeld.
No, I'm
CT,
not old enough,
but
yeah,
there's the episode where George has the involuntary elbow movement. So if you have watched Seinfeld and you remember that episode, I think that's what CT's referring to. So, yeah.
Damien Smith was a classic for it, always giving you the sound effect.
I know, I had a bruise on my arm by the end of that season, I think. Here's a throw for Lake Macquarie.
Good to see we pick up where we've left off.
So Berkeley gets right under that. May create something here. It's just swirling in the breeze. That long ball forward. Majorowski. And Tapkura saw the run of Verstegen. Under pressure from Reed Jones. Campbell Ross now. Gura. Keelan Hamilton just urging his side to keep up their movement, because just got a little stagnant there and they were lacking options. Kamara now. Now this is where Olympic are going to be so dangerous. Lake Macquarie pushing forward. They've got so much speed up front. He gets onto that left boot. Comfortable for Nyman, but they don't want to allow Jared Muller time and space on that left boot from that kind of angle, because he really could bend one into the top corner. We've seen him do that plenty of times before at this ground.
Yeah, where he was good last week was getting in position to either create opportunities for others or for himself. And if City don't stay tight to that, then he's going to cause some problems. And that was an example of that on that occasion, straight to the keeper. But he's got the ability, as you said, Bart, to put them away, and we've seen it before.
A couple of golden boots for Newcastle Olympic in the last 2 seasons, and he's only 20, CT. So if he stays here at Olympic, you feel he could break goal-scoring records like former Olympic defender Kyle Hodges did for the other reason. Most games without a goal for Newcastle Olympic, overtaking Barry Park for that title, CT.
That's some stat right there, Bart. Good to have you back.
Kamara. It's a good throw, just playing him in behind. Verstegen tracking back. And now treble. Forceful run into the box. Earns another corner for Olympic. It's where they have profited so far today. Caused problems. Scored the only goal so far through Jared Dodds. And he's getting up again, the centre back. The bright yellow boots. And Cooper is looking for Dodds again. He was almost on the double. Another corner for Olympic. And I know you're not a betting man, CT, but if you were, I think you would have got some decent odds for Jared Dodds scoring a double today.
Yeah, about 84 to 1 is about what you would have picked up there, but he's got the first half of that job done and certainly in contention for the second.
Declan Hughes just stubs this one towards the near post. Get a chance on the rebound and overhits the cross on the second attempt. Well, Lake Macquarie, you feel have been better in the last 5 to 10 minutes or so. But still pretty comfortable for Newcastle Olympic on this 1-0 lead. But they won't want to sit on it, especially in a cup match. Kamara, the turn. Nyman's out. Good smother from Isaac Nyman, coming to the rescue again for Lake Macquarie. And he's had a really solid showing so far. The goal he could do nothing about. It was from point-blank range, but outside of that, he's had a good performance for Lake Macquarie in goal.
Yeah, on that occasion, technically very, very strong in the way that he positioned himself, and not for a foul as well, because it's easy to give one there. The ball was closer to Kamara than it was to him, so good effort, good dummy from Cooper there as well. Olympic.
Well, it just opens up for Rodway, and it was dipping and it was bending in the air. Didn't we get a great view of that strike from the teenager Jai Rodway?
Well, Rodway,
that would have been a ripper.
The first one was a tap in. That was a full instep drive, and you're right, it did dip. This wind, that power, that instep, all of those things instep came together.
You just could see he was going for it, didn't you? It just opened up for him. There was only one thing happening there, and that was launching the torpedo towards goal. So Cooper, this is swinging in at the back post, too close to Nyman. So he passes another test, the man in pink. And if you're wondering why he is in goals, Blair Ryan, the first choice goalkeeper, former Mariners youth product, he is away, like a number of players, for the long weekend, because this was meant to be Lake Macquarie's bye weekend. But I don't know, CT. It is scheduled, the FFA Cup, I should say, the Australia Cup matches for this weekend. So I feel like teams should know by this point that they might have the bye in the NPL, but every year the round 6 matches are played on this weekend.
So here's the thing, Bart, and this is where it's a change now versus, say, 20, 25 years ago. I can tell you firsthand, we'll come back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing this. Kamara dancing on it, just behind Muller. They slip over, it falls for Cooper. First touch, Reese Cooper. Sprays it to the right.
Good touch and good strike from Cooper, just missed his
Don't
target.
you love that first touch? Because many a player would have taken it on the first attempt. Just took his time, waited, and he would have hoped for a better finish on that second attempt.
It just showed a lack of panic and a complete position of game awareness is where he was at. I was going to say before about, this weekend, if there is something similar 20 to 25 years ago, just to pick a time frame, the coach's mentality is if you leave yourself out of that equation, yeah, sure, go away, but you won't be back until we lose or until there's a significant injury. It's not like you're going to go away and get your spot back. And I don't know what it is. There's probably a few older guys with grey hair at home going, yeah, I get it. But if you're leaving the squad, for example, the snow was a good one. You're going down skiing for the weekend. All right, well, you've lost your spot. And you've got to earn it back. It's not just a case of when you get back, you'll be back in the team again. That's not the way that it worked. And clubs and the squad depths weren't as big as what they are now, but they certainly seem to get them back a lot easier than what they used to.
Oh, here's the deflection. I thought for a moment it might be looping in that back post. Yeah, and I've heard that from plenty of coaches. You go away, you don't get your spot back. The issue is Lakes have got 3 players away on holidays, 3 key players, and it's hard to then next week leave them out when they're 3 of your better players. So, yeah, makes it difficult.
Yeah, it is a difficult one, but I know what used to happen and I know what does happen now. So that spreads through and creates that mentality that it's okay. Personally, I'd like to give some opportunities at that point, or other coaches would back in that era, because I saw it happen a lot. But anyway, it's just changing of the times.
Well, with as much due respect to Lakes, they are down the bottom of the table, and you see it more from teams towards that end of the table than you do at the top. You wouldn't see many Magic, Charlestown, Maitland, Olympic. No, they're not right up the top, but you feel like if they go away, well, it's going to be very difficult to get the spot back. Rodway tried to slip in Kamara.
Yeah, so true. And each circumstance would be considered individually, get all of that. But it just seems to be that shift of mentality as the years have ticked over.
What would you do when you were coaching? Don't give them the spot back?
Yeah, again, times are changing. And did you give a spot back? As I said before, would prefer to give an opportunity to a 16-year-old that's been doing well if they are good enough to play and be alert to it. As you see with Damien Zane, he'd do exactly the same thing. He would give opportunities and does. He's probably the best one I've seen do it.
Berkeley drove that pass to Gura and just made himself a real nuisance, did Langlois, and allows Olympic to push forward through Muller. And he beat the first, Muller, and the second, and he gets it through Nyman and scores Olympic second. And it was a brilliant goal. And he's not celebrating in a way that goal deserved. Jared Muller may have a little bit of a limp after that. Beat 2 challenges and then somehow curls it into the back post.
Got past the first, got past the second, and the third one got a little bit lucky and probably copped a knock at the same time. That's why there's no major celebrations, I think, going on there with that one. It doesn't matter, because when the score nil is 1 up, City are in it 2-0. Then now they've got a whole lot of work to do, considering the way the game has flowed so far.
Callan. And here's Gura, just has it pinched off him by Cooper. So it was a hill, now it's a mountain for Lake Macquarie, 2-0 before half-time. And this is such an opportunity for them, especially after what's happened in the NPL in recent weeks. They know it's going to be tough to make it into the finals. This is a chance for them to really have a highlight in what may be a tough season for them, and it's slipping away.
Yeah, a real boost for City to win this game and get themselves in the next round, because that's what the focus of today would be. But when you're so skinny on numbers for a squad, it's hard to wrap your head around it. And you're right, Bart, that this challenge has just become a whole lot more difficult.
Well, they've got a set piece here, and this is as good an opportunity as any that they have had in this first half so far. Set pieces, you feel, is their route if they want to score some goals today. Make it difficult for Pearce, and, well, the delivery. So disappointing, especially with Matt Jarofsky making that run at the back post. Luke Callan, I wish he had his time over again there. But when you get so few opportunities, it puts so much pressure on those small moments. Luke Callan, former Magic man. And then Jordan Harris, well, no Lake Macquarie player down there. And it's easily dealt with by Newcastle Olympic. Maybe not the way they wanted. And Gura just had two men there doing the business, Rodway and also Langlois. Of course, Joe Langlois' brother, Pat, playing for South Melbourne down in the NPL in Victoria. And he's done well there to take it off Jared Mullico and Garo. So not far away from half-time. Round 6 of the Australia Cup at Darling Street. Newcastle Olympic looking to move one step closer to the round of 32, and they are very, very close to sealing their spot as it stands at the moment. 2-0 lead. Lake Macquarie really struggling. Adam Pearce uses some skill to beat Matt Jarofsky, but just inviting a little bit of nervousness into the stadium here at Darling Street. Rodway. Cooper let it run to him. Held his footing well. And they'll get another corner before half-time. Newcastle Olympic to almost put themselves out of sight.
Yeah, and we'll do our best to speak to Adam Pearce on the way out. He was up for a chat on the way out from half-time, so we'll see if we can make that happen, Bart.
Muller. Ball just running away from Langlois. 1-2 played. Kane Treble with the long throw. Nodded away by Verstegen. Spills for Reed Jones. Again, it's Verstegen with his head in the way. Majerowski doesn't earn the free kick as much as he tried to, and the clearance dealt with by Adam Pearce. Just bobbled awkwardly there for Rodway. Callan was able to profit, earns a throw. So the
At half-time in this
start that Newcastle Olympic were after in this first half of this round 6 clash in the Australia Cup. They made it to the round of 32 last season. They are only 45 minutes away from being in round 7 and just one win away from the nationwide round of this competition. Their leading scorer, Jared Muller, with his 11th of the campaign, and the other goal scorer, Jared Dodds, in that first half. So half-time, Newcastle Olympic 2, Lake Macquarie City 0. Let's get a comment with CT.
Thanks, Bart. Just here with Adam Pearce. Mate, first half pretty comfortable. Really good early first goal, Rodwell, and then the second goal must have been a big relief.
Yeah, definitely. I think we were lucky to get a couple of goals there, but I think in the second half we just need to control the game better. We've scored 2 goals, but I don't think we're playing the best we can. And I think we just need to improve on just the smallest things, just keeping it and putting them on the back foot instead of us being so much in a position where we're just defending. So, yeah, it's good to be 2-0 up, but it's we definitely still need to be in a position where we can go for more.
2-0 is a scary scoreline. I was just about to ask, is one more what you want, or is 2.5?
No, we definitely want more than one. I think it's just important that we can continue to build from where we are coming from this season. And I think just getting goal after goal and just being in a position to put them out of the game, I want to get 5 goals.
Yeah, well, enjoy the second half, because to get into the next round would be massive for Newcastle football and Newcastle Olympic.
Yeah, definitely. We experienced it last year with the FFA Cup, and the boys are more than determined to be back in the same position next year. And it's just important that we focus on this game and the game that we have coming up. So we'll go out there and try and score some more goals and win the game.
Yeah, good luck for the second half. Cheers.
Thanks to
Thanks,
CT
Bart.
and to Adam Pearce. He's setting a high bar for his front line, wanting 5 goals to seal their spot in round 7 of the Australia Cup. We will be back after half-time for the second half here from Darling Street. It's Newcastle Olympic leading it by 2 goals to 0.
Including taxation advice, accounting and auditing, business consultation, and business startup advice. Red Funnels Food Service not only supplies our canteen, but also provides bulk food distribution to restaurants, shops and canteens across the Newcastle Central Coast and the Hunter region in the North Coast, and have been since 1933. Our Olympic players are made of steel, supplied, of course, by Hunter Metal Market. Based in Heatherbrae, Hunter Metal Market supplies and delivers almost any metal product you're likely to need. Walls End Diggers provides an enticing, relaxed and welcoming club atmosphere, not only for our players, but also for our supporters. Flying out of Newcastle Airport, you won't get far without Australian Refuelling Services, who supply all the jet fuel for the airport to ensure you leave on time and, of course, with enough fuel to get you there. In the unfortunate event of a car accident, you're in good hands with Steve Coolis Smash Repairs. George Coolis and his team of experts are the go-to repairers for your car to get you back to new in no time at all. Our city is built on the backbone of our mining industry. Newcastle's own Cougar Mining is a leading provider of specialty mining equipment to mining operations across Australasia. Steggles provides the freshest in chickens and poultry products for families and restaurants. A local success story, Steggles has been a staple of mouth-watering meals and bringing quality time to the table since 1919. Commercial real estate is a specialty market, and there are no better experts than the Commercial Collective, Newcastle's premier commercial real estate agency. Our players are kitted out in the latest high-quality playing and training clothing, supplied by Sports Click, Newcastle's own supplier of sports and teamwear Australia-wide. Walcombe Real Estate, based in Newcastle City, has been servicing Newcastle for over 50 years and is a proud supporter of our youth. We'd also like to take the opportunity to thank our associate sponsors who each proudly support Newcastle Olympic. They include Albatross Marina in Lemon Street Passage, Tim Service on Jacoba Tiles, Newcastle real estate legend George Ratley of First National Newcastle. George Fellis of Civic Lunch Delights in Hunter Street, Newcastle. George Saris of the Boys of Mayfield West Kebabs. Teresa McCallum of Aussie Home Loans in Hamilton. CB Tech for Office and Store Technology. GWH Build for commercial construction experts. High-Vis Group for the signage around our ground. And Wayne for Breathless Blue Photography for outstanding photography each match. Thank you again to our sponsors and benefactors. Enjoy the game.
Αλλά φταίνε και οι δικοί μας. Δεν μου λες εσύ μιλάς τέτοια γλώσσα. Κάνα τι είναι ντόπια. Ο λόγος που είναι έκανε ο Μερός και όταν και έκλεψαν αυτοί μαλάκι και παπάδες. Είδες αυτά με, ο Μάιλ.
There's a message for Daniel Kondosorov. Young boy, Daniel Kondosorov, if you're around, mate, can you go straight to the canteen? Your parents want to get you something at the canteen. Daniel Kondosorov, please go straight away to the canteen.
Τα ξέρω, θα τα έχω δει. Ένα καμάτι δεν θα δώσανε τα μουνιά, οι Σιριζέοι το όνομα. Κολλημένα. Πολλά χρόνια, όταν παίρνουμε τον Τούρκο. Φωνάζει και θα πάρει. Αφού ζητάει πολλά, όταν ζητάει πολλά, θα τα βαντάει τα τίποτα περισσότερο. Όταν ζητάει πολλά, θα τα πάρει. Δεν πιστεύω, αλλά τώρα... Να θυμάστε πάλι με ίδια από αυτά που θα πάρει. Όταν ζητάς πολλά να πάρει κάτι, δεν μπορεί να πάρει. Γεια σου, δεν μπορείς να πάρεις πολλά, όταν δεν ζητάς τίποτα.
Welcome back to Darling Street Oval, round 6 of the Australia Cup. Newcastle Olympic with a 2-goal advantage. They've got 1 foot in round 7 of the Cup. Reece Cooper gets us started in the second half. And they get through this one, and they are just 1 win away from the round of 32. Jared Muller making a run down the right. It was his goal which put Olympic into a 2-0 lead just before half-time after Jared Dodds made it 1-0, the centre-back in the first half. So they are going to be playing the winner of the Coffs Coast Tigers and Cooks Hill. And then Magic are playing Coffs City. They will play the winner of Western and Maitland. That one on at the moment up at Cook Square Park in Maitland. So Musa Kamara out there with the bandage around the head in this second half. Adam Pearce, former Mariners goalkeeper, 9 appearances in the A-League men's competition for him. And said to Chris Turner just before half-time, just before they headed into the sheds, that he would like to see a few goals from his front men to put this result beyond doubt. I'm sure he'd love a clean sheet as well. They're not going to get an opportunity to score here, as just got away from Rodway. Strong challenge from Callan versus Reece Cooper. Fired the pass to Tapgura. He did well to get the ball back under his control. But then eventually Langlois in tandem with Treble able to win it for Olympic. And it's Treble shooting and flashing it wide. Looking for that first goal in Olympic colours in 4 years. May 2018 was when he scored in the NPL. Back as a 17-year-old he was then. Kane Treble, now 21 years of age. Muller getting a boot in. And now earning a free kick, the Olympic striker. His 11th of the season across all competitions in that first half. 6 in the Cup, including 4 against Cardiff City. Scored a hat-trick in the NPL competition last month against Adamstown. So another good season for Jared Muller. Declan Hughes angling that cross in towards Kamara, appreciative of the service, but comfortable for Isaac Nyman. Muller again. Busy again, winning the ball up top. Kamara flicks the pass to Kane Treble. Another opportunity for Treble as he drove in the cross. Jack Reed-Jones was looking for another cup goal this season, getting forward the left fullback. Scored a double in that 13-0 win against Cardiff. Gura got the pass to Campbell Ross. He's going to come back for the free kick. Referee Andrew Higgins. Berkeley's ball to no one in a white shirt, so more frustration for Lake Macquarie, who are already facing a battle to get themselves back level in this one. Very few opportunities created in the first half and early in the second. So you just wonder where the avenue is for them. Verstegen brings it down to Ross. Gura. Good space made there by Cooper Verstegen, finding Tap Gura. So they burst forward here, Lake Macquarie City. This is a promising attack that comes undone as the ball beats Verstegen over the back line. And again, frustration for the visitors. So again, for Lake Macquarie, just starting to get themselves down into the attacking third, but just that quality lacking at the moment. 4 straight losses coming into this one, 20 goals to 2 conceded across the NPL, so you can understand why the confidence is just a little low for City at the moment. But it'll only take 1 goal and they can get it flowing for them once again. Good pressure put on Edwards, and now Michael Brew looking for Kowalski. Rodway got up well to win it back for Olympic. Cooper searching forward for Muller. Callan intervening for Lake Macquarie City. And Brew to safety. Verstegen. Pass cut out by Reed Jones. Treble was bumped after he passed. Edwards decided to pass in instead of take the shot on. And Lake Macquarie have it back. What can they do with possession though? And Garo. And Jordan Harris returning it to Cohen and Garo. Majerowski looking for the flick towards Campbell Ross. Right idea, but just not the execution from the experienced striker. Played for Newcastle United and Wollongong City in the NSL back in the early 2000s. John Majerowski actually got Broadmeadow Magic through to the round of 32 a number of years back in 2018, scoring a winner to beat Olympic. So he's done the job before against Newcastle Olympic, but in a much stronger side than he's currently in at the moment. They've been doing a lot of defending so far, Lake Macquarie City. Majerowski may have caught one right in the face from Jared Dodds. Gura. And Garo spying Majerovski. Jordan Harris. Early ball from Verstegen. Campbell Ross does get there and earns Lake Macquarie a rare corner here. So this is a real opportunity for them in this second half. Can they halve the deficit, make something happen here and send some nerves through Newcastle Olympic? It's going to be Tom Kowalski to head down to take it. Former Edgeworth player. He scored in the cup against Kahaiba. And his delivery wasn't bad. Olympic able to flick the header away. So Michael Brew absolutely launches the throw. Dodds with the header. Kowalski getting himself about. And Andrew Higgins has seen a foul in there. Looks to be a head clash. It's going to be an Olympic free kick. So things just starting to happen for Lake Macquarie. All they need is one chance. They grab a goal back and the energy amongst the visitors will lift. There's a mistake from Rutledge. So as the momentum just slightly shifted in this one, you feel that Glenn Chapman may have felt that, and that's why he's going to make a change. Jackson Burston will come on for Newcastle Olympic. Musa Kamara, the man to be replaced. That head bandage.
On comes number 17, Jackson Burston.
Scored once in the NPL this season, last month against Adamstown. Second season at Newcastle Olympic after previously playing with Western. Also spent some time with Lambton and Edgeworth as well.
Come on, Cooper. Come on, lad. Come on. And again. Come on, lad. Come on.
And it's good to be joined again in this second half by the mystery man, Chris Turner. He loves to go away and have a stroll on the job. So just some issues for Olympic lately, CT. In their own defensive end, they are just starting to make a few poor choices with their passing. Lake Macquarie, they'll have to try and take advantage. They've looked sloppy, haven't they? Newcastle Olympic, and now Kowalski put under pressure by Cooper. Clearance only as far as Verstegen. Here's Ngaro. And now Jordan Harris. He shoots from range and it's on top of the net. Well, that's how far away it was for Lake Macquarie and a potential route back into this cup clash.
All right, let's just break straight into what's going on here. There's two separate mindsets. One is that if City are any chance to win this game, they've got to get the next goal and they want to get it soonish. Gives them a chance to get themselves back in the game because then it's game back on. At Olympic, for them, they're seeing the next round of the Australia Cup and they've got pretty much 1.5 hands around that one already and they're just kind of in a defensive mindset. And we're seeing that right now. That strike then just is exactly, you had a look at the look on Hamilton's face. You could see how close it was for them, and he knew how close that was as well. Goal for City right now, game on, and that's exactly the intent. Two clear, different mindsets.
Michael Brew up into the arms of Adam Pearce. He's thrusting it out to Reed Jones. But you just have a feeling that the intensity's lifted from a Lake Macquarie perspective. They just have the feeling that Newcastle Olympic may be fading late on. The ball spins and bounces awkwardly over Ngaro. And as you said, Olympic grab a third. they're pretty much there. But while it's still at 2, Lake Macquarie will believe if they can just find something.
You may have picked it at half-time. I'm not quite sure, but walking off with Adam Pearce there, it was almost routine in the conversation, and this was what's happening. But the message from Hamilton when he goes in there at half-time is going to be a completely different one.
Well, that's bounced awkwardly up and over the top for Muller. Tell you what, in parts this pitch is a trampoline, and in other parts it's a crater, just like the home ground of the aptly named Binaway Bombshells. If you've heard of that competition up in Casino, yeah, Binaway in New South Wales, northern New South Wales. But it is fair. We make a joke about it, but the pitch, it's very challenging. Not Olympics' fault, we must say. Look at that bounce and the handball. Well, he is going to get a yellow card, is Luke Callan. And to be honest, it's a little bit unfortunate because that ball has just reared up. You don't know what's going to happen when the ball lands. And as we're going to say, because we know if Newcastle Olympic administrators and the board watch this back, they'll think we're having a crack at. There's Burston with the flick on up and over the bar. They'll think we're having a crack at the ground stuff. No, we're not. It's very wet. It's very tough to get the pitch in a nice flat condition, so we're not blaming them at all. It's just the season we're in at the moment with the amount of rain.
Well, that's exactly it, Bart. That's the season we've had, and heard one of the officials here saying how literally this is an old swamp and just sitting just above that plane. So to get it to
isn't that Newcastle? The whole of Newcastle.
Well, yeah,
used to be
that's
a
true.
swamp.
This one, and adjacent to the dog track, and you'll see in the background where all those houses are, or the apartments, etc. There's the dog track.
Look at the speed here, striding forward. Rodway, and Brew got himself there, cut him down. And Jared Muller's ball, in the end, didn't find the intended target.
Rodway may have been on his 88-1 there himself, if that was one of the odds we were talking about. Got the first one, looking for a second. He's been threatening from deep on a couple of occasions, and we saw the in-step drive in the first half, Bart, which was a highlight outside of the goal.
Cooper turns and faces and feeds Burston. Treble tracks it down. It's overhit just over the head of Burston.
What I did like there from Treble's cross, there, he picked out his far attacker, and the fact that he had a good look. He just overhit it a fraction, wind behind him, but that intent.
So now Campbell Ross just looking up, assessing the options, sees John Majerowski. And his pass is overhit, searching for the man who distributed the pass to him.
Just while we're just about to get a substitution here, but we've got James Paris sitting behind us, and Jimmy is a budding commentator who will take part in the Bar TV campaigns. Jimmy, great to have you with us, and you're getting a bit of the experience of Ben Homer.
Absolute pleasure to be here, obviously with your colourful self, CT, and then obviously the experience of hometown hero Ben Homer. I'm learning a lot and absorbing up the back here, that's for sure.
Hometown hero. Well, you certainly know how to say all the right things, Jimmy. There's
I'll just say, with as much respect to Jimmy, I'm no hero. I'm just the conduit between the play and the people watching. So that's all I do. That's all I do. I just want to say that because I know in media, I feel like sometimes the people in the media are more of the stars than the players, but these guys are the ones that are the stars. So,
well, that's exactly right, Bart, and that's why we're here, and no doubt Jimmy's going to do a great job in calling the action as we go. Jimmy, just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, so Newcastle Junior. Been with the Northern New South Wales NPL as a correspondent there for this season, and looking to give back to community football as much as I can. So I figured why not try jump on with Bar TV and try serenade the listeners with my sultry tones. But which is why I'm here shadowing Ben Homer and yourself today. So yeah, no, really looking forward to getting amongst the team, and what a great way to start being here today.
It certainly is, and we look forward to hearing your voice over the coming weeks, mate. And
I'm looking forward to Jimmy learning off you, CT. So that'd be fantastic. What a great man to learn off. And I'm being serious. I am.
All I can say is
I am being serious. As much as it sounds, I'm not. As Reed Jones delivering, flicked on, sharp save from Isaac Nyman at that near post.
This is actually an interesting point, because I know he is serious. A lot of people would think that he's joking.
No, I'm not.
But we have had so much fun doing this over what is now 7 or 8 seasons. I think it is, and it's been fun, and it's always to have fun to have you back, Bart. And it seems to be getting rarer as we go.
Good run there from Reed Jones, and Lake Macquarie's defence doing the job. I'll tell you what, though, this is a real chance for Newcastle to seal away a spot in round 7 of the Australia Cup. Reece Cooper rushing down to the corner.
See you over the next couple of weeks, Jimmy.
Thank you. Look forward to it, guys.
Cheers.
So Cooper looking for Langua, who was in a real tussle. He was almost in a straitjacket there in the Lake Macquarie defence. Reed Jones. Verstegen getting himself onto the floor. And then Tom Parks. So he's just come out onto the field as Tom Parks, former Jets Academy and Magic player. We've seen him in underage grand finals in seasons gone past. So we've got some changes from Newcastle Olympic now. Louis Townsend back at the club after some time spent at Maitland and also Adamstown.
A double change for Olympic. On comes number 30, Vincent Uni.
Uni.
Number 15, Louis Townsend.
Who scored last month against Maitland. So Jared Muller gets an early break today alongside Declan Hughes. He's done his job, scored a goal. They would have liked another one, but you don't want to ask for too much. Adam Pearce with a comfortable grab. So the question now is that passage where Lake Macquarie were on top. Have they missed their window of opportunity? Or are there going to be more chances on the way? Rodway looks up, sees the space ahead of him and just slips in. Burston, who drives it, and Vincent Uni almost with his first touch was able to score for Newcastle Olympic. Just couldn't get there in time. So don't forget, at full time, Chris Turner will be having a chat to our Bar TV Sports Player of the Match. And now Treble finding Langua. Legs just came out from under him on this damp pitch. And we're going to see Matt Miners make his way onto
on comes number 54, Matt
Darling
Miners.
Street Oval. John Madjurovski, the man replaced. Former Charlestown man. We'll see what he can add to this contest. Reed Jones fired it into the chest of Kane Treble. And now Joe Langua just slipped away from Treble. Still, though, Olympic through Rodway and Burston. Good strength from Burston, but just had it picked off his toes by Tapgura. Just allowing Verstegen to run onto the pass and run into his bench as well. It's almost though it was just running downhill, that pass. Looked to be perfectly weighted, but just the lack of grass out there just made it so difficult for Cooper Verstegen. So still sitting on the halftime score at the moment, Newcastle Olympic. Jared Muller and Jared Dodds, the goal scorers so far. Here is Jared Dodds with the switch across to this left-hand edge for Reed Jones. Vincent Uni. Berkeley saw the run of Campbell Ross. Adam Pearce saw it as well. Had to get himself out to the edge of the box.
I know you're trying to help us, just keep your discipline, keep your structure, yeah? I know you're trying to help.
And just around the corner from Burston, feeding Louis Townsend, who can make those runs from deep the midfielder. Actually hasn't scored though for Newcastle Olympic for the first time. Maybe a chance for him today to seal this one and a spot in round 7 of the Cup. So Cooper. And now Townsend. Rodway's going to have to track back. Now Rutledge just getting himself out, and that may open up some space. Reed Jones getting across and just given a tug by Kowalski. Just as something looked to be brewing there for Lake Macquarie. It was an 87th minute winner from the penalty spot. The difference when these two sides met in the NPL in April. Dylan Burston scoring a winner in that 1-0 result. But he's no longer with Lake Macquarie. Big loss for them. Vincent Uni. And Burston getting on the outside of Luke Callan and earning another corner. They are piling up today for Newcastle Olympic.
Yeah, they'll have in their heads in this moment of the game that if they get one, it's a wrap-up. But whilst they haven't got it, City is still pounding on the door. But this time, Cooper.
It's a low delivery. Burston was stooping. Nyman put under some real pressure. Vincent Uni getting his strong frame about. Matt Miners. And Kowalski. Rutledge getting across to screen. Just slow things down for Lake Macquarie. Bounced up into the head of Miners. Strong from Cooper, and Miners has it back. Quickly throwing towards Tom Parks. Verstegen winning the header. Spills again for Tapgura. We know how good his close ball control is, but when he's got 3 blue shirts around him, it makes it very difficult to get out of that. And you may not be able to see it on Bar TV Sports because the match is still rolling on. We've only got the one camera, but John Majerowski sharing a special moment in front of us with his kids.
We're going to see if we can pan down to that right now, just on the cameraman Dave's left, and look at Majerowski and taking the moment. And this has been going on for a couple of minutes, by the way. This is a man that puts family first, Bart. I can tell you that's a natural. That's for sure. Comes straight off.
Yeah,
Don't worry
pretty
about
special.
The 4 of us in the crowd. He's straight over to the kids. All jokes aside, that's just him and his genuine nature.
Yeah, 39 years of age. As I said before, former NSL player with Newcastle United and also Wollongong City. 14 appearances. So the delivery from Callan is straight to Adam Pearce. He's got wonderful height. Did play for Olympics major rivals here in the NPL, Broadmeadow Magic, and spent some time with the Mariners, the 25-year-old from Foster. Of course, 9 appearances in the A-League men's competition. Campbell Ross, his pass to Ngaro, who is in an offside position. So another couple of changes on the way for Newcastle Olympic. Chan Yelchin, who scored a couple of goals this season.
On comes number 19, Chan Yelchin, and number 3, Tom Davies.
So Tom Davies replacing Jack Reed-Jones.
But the other game that we haven't mentioned this afternoon is Lambton Jaffers against the Edgeworth Eagles. And that one's at half-time with Lambton up 2. With Edgeworth 0, I should say. So 2-0.
What were you attempting to say?
I'm not sure, but 2-0 Lambton are up over Edgeworth at home for the Jaffers. So that's another week where Edgeworth are doing it tough so far over at Eden Oval.
So that one in the NPL. So there are matches in the NPL involving teams not playing in the Cup this weekend. So important to get the matches done and dusted, especially with the amount of fixtures that are backlogged due to postponed clashes. Uni, and here's the cross to Yelchin. This is his first touch, first involvement. It's a pretty good one. Now another chance for Rodway. Matt, not his best ever. He was trying to replicate that strike in the first half, and you can see maybe a little better on the right than the left boot as Caleb Lowe is about to replace Tapgura.
Substitution for Lake Macquarie. On comes number 38, Caleb Lowe.
Really busy in that midfield, as always, Tapgura, but just not the support for him.
And he came off with a bit of a limp as well, so being forced with injury.
Townsend quickly to Chan Yelchin. He scored 2 in his first 2 in the NPL. Hasn't scored since. And Burston's delivery. Well, how has Louis Townsend not scored his first for Olympic? Maybe we can see why he hasn't. CT.
Well, let's go back to that ball from Yelchin. He just had the absolute awareness to see where his teammate Muller was on the right-hand side.
He can speak a few languages as well, Chan Yelchin. He's got a fascinating backstory. Has spent some time playing for Malaga City in Spain and also down in Sydney. This delivery is floated towards him. So I can tell you he speaks English, Spanish, and also Dinka. Now that is the Dinka language from the Dinka people of South Sudan. So he is very skilled with a range of languages, CT.
Well, that ball there wasn't his only skill there, the one that he that he's played out to Burston, and I like the way that happened because that ended up in the goal chance, and hadn't he found his player there on that occasion, then Olympic weren't so close. But look, Olympic now just turning things around a little bit, back on the attack, weathered that first 15, 20 minutes.
Jared Dodds saw the arm up from Chan Yelchin, tried to find him. Just got held up in the wind though. Tom Davies out there, back from a trip overseas. And into the thick of things for Newcastle Olympic. So, well, Joey Langquar, he puts Dodds and also Adam Pearce under a bit of heat there.
Help him on! Come on, Brewy! Urge him on! Come on! Boy!
And the ball has been kept in off the corner flag. Campbell Ross off the side of the boot. Caleb Lowe getting himself about the youngster off the bench. He's got the throw here. Left it short on Verstegen. Yelchin. And Burston nudged over by Miners, but Andrew Higgins has given it the all clear. Townsend just thwarting Miners, but Lake Macquarie able to recalibrate and go again through Michael Brew. Tom Parks asking for the free kick. And now Verstegen. This is going to run away.
Cambo, you all right? You need to have a swap with...
And we'll start to have a look at a few of the players for our man of the match here, Bart, and you know, a couple of contenders for sure.
Come on.
What are your thoughts?
Come on.
Well, it's a tough one because it's been a difficult match to control as a side, hasn't it? For both teams, just with the nature of the pitch, it's been bobbly. So both midfields really haven't had an opportunity to show their wares, but you've got to look towards the likes of Reece Cooper and Joe Langua. Rodway looking for the cross. He's been good as well. Jai Rodway, the right fullback, getting forward. So too Jack Reed-Jones, who is off the park now, but had a lot of work while he was out there. So Lake Macquarie just trying to push Olympic back through Caleb Lowe. They are going to earn themselves a corner. So it's now or never, you sense, for Lake Macquarie. They've got a set piece. Pearce is looking into the setting sun, as are all the players out there, but it's going to make things a little bit difficult for the Olympic keeper. So you sense he wants to put this one a little low, right in that tough eye line. He's curling deep, and it spills away for a strike. Well, looked like a place shot in the end. Kowalski got up, and Adam Pearce will gobble those ones up every day of the week. And now look to release Chan Yelchin, who's got himself in behind. That's good defensive work from Cohen and Garo. So the match really stretched at the moment, nearing the conclusion as Lake Macquarie chase a goal which can set up a grandstand finish.
You mentioned Cooper there before earlier, but his body language now tells me, yeah, he's had a great game, but he looks tired. He looks a fraction sluggish to what he normally would be as we see that one roll out. The fact that he's falling a little bit deeper now.
We can understand as well on a heavy pitch as well. It's pretty tough out there for the midfielders. especially a player like him getting up and back.
That's for sure. And a player like him, as the captain, wants to get through to this next round of the Cup. It's 100% can guarantee that. So he's done some extras, and you can just start to see this last period of the game. He's feeling it.
Cooper, of course, playing in the midfield alongside the young man he coached at under-13s here at Newcastle Olympic, Joe Langua. How about that? Campbell Ross. Just for a moment, got goal side of Dodds, who tracked back. That pass asked too much of Parks. And now Kowalski, well, that's a shot of a team lacking ideas. He was on the back foot and just decided to have a strike. They had plenty of men forward. Would have you liked to have seen a different option, CT?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you exactly put it right there on the back foot, you're not going to generate enough power to trouble someone like Pearce. It has to be something special. So that's probably where you just take a touch in the direction where you want to go and try and slide someone else in who's going to be in better position and better shape, body shape, to take aim at the target. That's what it's all about.
So still no goals in this second half. It was 2-0 to Olympic at halftime. The two Jareds scoring, Dodds and Muller. Berkeley's just launched it. Well, I tell you what, if it was on target, may have made things a little challenging for Adam Pearce.
Come on, lads, come on, come on. Still time if you can find one, come on.
Davies. And now Campbell Ross trying to duck under it, and it's bonked him on the head. It's been that kind of day for everyone out there trying to work out which way the ball's going to bounce. Pearce picks out Yelchin. Verstegen almost sitting on the ball in the end, and he's brought it under control well. Thought he'd done well. Andrew Higgins ruling it as a free kick. You, of course, can't just sit on the ball, bring it under control, CT.
No, he can't do that, and Cooper was aware of it. Got himself over the ball here. He's looking towards the box. He's only got 3 in there at the moment, but they're running.
And Cooper's delivery beating everyone, but not Rodway. His strike deflection. Somehow he hasn't scored today, Jai Rodway. Surely he deserves a goal, CT, at least. Oh, Callan almost got his head taken off by Dodds. He was nearly decapitated.
He's just coming out with it all at the moment. Yeah, it is. This is
well,
great.
he is. He's struggling.
Because
poor old Luke Callan. Dodds was flying through.
We had a certain goal at one end and a decapitation at the other end, and all the while there's not a whole lot doing. So your commentary is working out as we see Rutledge there. Bit of skill.
Well, Parks is just diving in everywhere. It's like when you're playing FIFA at the end of the game and you're down and you just set your player to slide tackle everywhere. That's what Tom Parks was doing there. And Rodway slips in uni and it's overhit. How often have we seen that today? And that's just the lack of grass, isn't it, on the pitch? Hit a ball and it's like it's rolling down King Edward Park on the cardboard. Have you done that, CT? Down King Edward Park on the cardboard?
Yeah, I have done that,
You've
actually.
Probably back in 1945, I'd say. But
turn it up.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. And one thing that we love commentating at this ground in particular is the fact that we get to sit in amongst the people, but we haven't really picked on any yet. But I've got old mate sitting in front of us here, and we'll leave him unnamed. But he may be looking for a lift home because I've been watching him have a couple of lemonades. We'll call him Daryl just for the fun of it. So offers there, mate. But yeah, love being here at Darling Street Oval, don't we? Just enjoying and soaking it up.
Townsend bursts forward, delivers to Yelchin. What's the option? Does he go for goal or does he try and find a teammate? He does that, and Burston, well, it was always going to be a difficult avenue to goal. Players around him from outside the box and scoops it over.
It was like a little half dink. Maybe I'll just try and find the top corner, or either way, it didn't work.
So we're into stoppage time now in this round 6 clash of the Australia Cup. They're almost into the 7th round Newcastle Olympic. We know they've been there plenty of times before. They finally got through it last year to make the last 32 in the country.
Hey, in the box, come on, get in the box.
Lake Macquarie just got to throw everyone forward here for this long thrust from Michael Brew. Off the head of Langlois. Almost spilled for Verstegen. And now Yelchin with the speed. Off the bench. So he has plenty of energy. Verstegen did well initially to stay with him. He couldn't for the duration. And then Berkeley sweeping up at the back for City. And they've toiled hard in this second half to ensure there hasn't been further damage on the scoreboard. Cooper and Davies. Luke Callan got the all-important boot in. Kowalski. And now Miners just opens up through the middle of the park now for Lakes. And Garo. Here is Campbell Ross, the delivery onto the head of Rutledge. Jai Rodway got it away. Well, I think CT today, man of the match, you've probably got to go with one of the hard-working Olympic midfielders as Dodds clears it over the sideline. He's also got his name in the hat as well. Jared Dodds, clean sheet, potentially scored a goal as well.
Yeah, there's certainly a few of them out there, and you're looking towards the Newcastle Olympic side at the moment, unless something dramatic changes. Reed Jones, again, mentioned him a few times today. He's been good.
Oh, good pass from Uni, Burston, and again, as soon as the ball's on the deck today, it is absolutely sliding through at serious pace, and again there we saw Burston was not able to catch up with it. It doesn't matter though, because Newcastle Olympic
That's the end of this
are through to round 7 of the Australia Cup, and they will be hoping to make it through now to the round of 32 in consecutive seasons.
Match officials and supporters who have come to Darling Street here this afternoon.
Lake Macquarie, their cup run ends in round 6 for the second season in a row. And now they will head back to the NPL with quite a job to do as they chase finals football. So Olympics Day at Darling Street, full-time Newcastle Olympic 2, Lake Macquarie City 0. And Lakes will be happy with their defensive effort in that second half. Same scoreline as it was at half-time, so an improved defensive effort after recent matches where they have leaked a lot of goals. So maybe that's some kind of foundation for Keelan Hamilton to work with heading into the back end of the season and those winter months as they chase a spot in the knockout rounds of the NPL. We're going to get some reaction in just a second. We will head down there now to Chris Turner.
Thanks, Bart. This is good news for Newcastle Olympic captain. It's been a couple of years of getting that wrong, Chris. Good news to make it to the next round, mate.
Yeah, look, we obviously had a job to do today, and we did it. It wasn't the best conditions, but yeah, we got the job done, so we're happy.
This game today, let's be honest, wasn't overly pretty. The ground here has been bumpy, and we had a look last week. We said how easy it was to get your thumb in the pitch. This week's not the case, because this right here it's pretty hard, and you saw how quick that it runs. So to play good football, more difficult than normal.
Yeah, very difficult on this. We knew it was going to be bumpy. Obviously, we train on it. But yeah, no, we've had dry weather, and the fields are now hard.
And so you go in at half-time 2-0. I'm thinking that's not enough. What was the message from Chappie at half-time?
It was definitely to score next. Obviously, we didn't. But, yeah, in football, 2-0 is a very dangerous lead. And, yeah, I suppose you're never safe at 2. You always want the third, but glad we held on.
And just finally, did you see Lakes come out with a different, not shape, but a different attitude and mentality? Because what it looked like is they were very much on the attack in the first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, they were actually pretty good today. They shocked us in the second half a little bit, and as I said, we were lucky to hold on. But look, it's like a grand final. The clubs obviously want to play as far as they can in the FFA Cup, or the Australian Cup. So yeah, it's like a grand final for every club, and Lakes were good. They took us. So yeah.
Well, this time last year, your club was very, very excited about being where we are. And I say that on behalf of Newcastle now. And you must be the same, and the club will be the same again this year, no doubt.
Yeah, we're not sure. Obviously, we've got one more round before, I guess, the TV, or whatever they call it, the round of 32. So we'd be interested to see the result of the other game. But, yeah, all clubs love it, mate. It's a great thing for clubs like ours. So it's exciting. It gives you something to work for, I guess. And last year was very enjoyable, so we're hoping to do it again.
Yeah, well, thanks for spending the time with us right now. Caught you a little bit more aware this week than last week. Enjoy it with your teammates, Coops, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good long weekend.
Yeah, you too. And Bart, that's a really good insight there from Reece Cooper. What a great ambassador he is for this club and the game, but more so for the, as he said, absolutely loves it, and the club loves it. They've got another game to get through to the round of 32. And then that may bring up the conversation again about promotion, relegation, a knockout, and something to play for at both ends of the competition. So I'm personally a big fan of the promotion relegation. This Australia Cup is very much is cutthroat. Miss out and you're gone. So City, on this day, this is the end of their campaign there. But it's been a great effort from both sides today in difficult conditions. But
thanks, CT. Yeah, it was a tough one on a pitch which, as Reece said, has been a bit wet, but it has dried up slightly just to make it that little bit bobbly and bumpy, and certainly was tough for both sides today. But Newcastle Olympic, they will be happy. They are through to round 7 of the Australia Cup. Goals from Jared Dodds and Jared Muller sealing their spot as they look to make it into the round of 32 in consecutive seasons. So the focus now for Lakes back to the NPL as they try to push for a final spot. So that wraps it up from Darling Street. Hopefully we'll be back on Bar TV for round 7 of the Cup, which is going to come up in the next couple of weeks. But until then, it's goodbye from us. Newcastle Olympic through to round 7 with a 2-0 win.